section deals with a company that has inadequate or it has absence of profits and it wants to pay the remuneration without the approval of central government. That is, inadequate case is inadequate profits plus payment of remuneration without approval of CG. Now it says there are certain limits given under this section, which says that where in a financial year a company has no profits or has inadequate profits, it may, without the approval of central government, pay remuneration to its managerial persons not exceeding the higher of the limits given under A and B. Now we have two cases. One, we'll take the higher of A and B. A is remuneration based on effective capital. Based on effective capital. And B is remuneration based on current relevant profits. So we'll cover this first, remuneration based on effective capital. Now it says where the effective capital of a company is, there are four cases. The first is the effective capital of the company is negative or less than 5 crore. Second is above 5 crore but below 100 crore. Above 100 crore but below 250 crores. And this is above 250 crores. 250 crores or above. So, now the yearly remuneration payable to each managerial person, payable to each MP, shall not to exceed 30 lakhs in the first case, 42 lakhs in this case, 60 lakhs in the third case, and where the effective capital is 250 crores or above, then in that case the yearly remuneration payable to each managerial person shall not exceed 60 lakhs plus 0.01% of effective capital in excess of rupees 250 crores. So this was A. Now it says that if the resolution passed by shareholders is special resolution, then the above limits shall be doubled. And there can be a case where the managerial personnel has been employed for a period less than 1 year. So it says yearly remuneration payable to each managerial personnel. In that case, that we will be the above limits, these limits we have talked about, will be prorated. So coming to the B part of it, so we talked about higher of A and B. A we have already covered, and the B part we are going to cover now. It says remuneration based on current relevant profits. It says that the remuneration shall not be 2.5%, shall be 2.5% of the current relevant profits. 2.5% of current relevant profits. But this can be paid only in case of certain persons. Those certain persons are that is in case of a managerial person who was not security holder, holding the securities of a company of nominal value of 5 lakh rupees or more. Managerial person not holding securities of company of nominal value of rupees 5 lakhs or more. Or employee or director or any person related to director or promoter at any time during the past 2 years prior to his employment as a managerial personnel. That is 2% of current relevant profits can be paid to a person who is not a managerial person, holding securities of the company exceeding rupees 5 lakh or more, or who is not an employee or director of the company or is related to any director or promoter of the company during the past 2 years prior to his employment as a managerial person. In case there is a person falling in these two categories, we can pay the remuneration only as per the A that we have covered over here, that is remuneration based on the effective capital of the company. Okay, again, if the resolution is passed by shareholders is special resolution, then this limit of 2.5% will be doubled, that is it will become then 5%. Okay, so the company can pay remuneration higher of these two, this one and this one, in case of inadequacy of profits. So there are certain conditions that are to be complied with in case the remuneration is paid by a company having inadequate profits. The first one being that the payment of remuneration should be approved by resolution passed by the board. That is, board resolution must be passed. And in case the company has a nomination and remuneration committee, it shall be approved by that committee. Second condition is that the company should not make default in repayment of any of its debts. In repayment of debts or debentures or interest payable for a continuous period of 30 days in the preceding financial year. And that is before the appointment of such managerial personnel. Third condition that we have is SR should be passed for payment of remuneration for a period not exceeding 3 years. Another is statement along with notice calling the general meeting is given to shareholders containing general information about the appointee, other information and certain disclosures to be made. That is statement with the notice. This has to be given to the shareholders. This will contain all the information and certain disclosures that are required to be made. This was section 2 that we were talking about. Coming to section 3. Section 3 is remuneration payable by companies having no profit or inadequate profit without CG approval in certain special circumstances. So in section 2 also we talked about the companies having the inadequate profits. No, we talked about both the things. In the first part we talked about companies having adequate profits, and in the second part we talked about companies having inadequate profits. This section deals only with the companies having inadequate profits, and such companies want to pay the remuneration to the managerial personnel without the approval of central government and in certain special circumstances. What are those special circumstances? The first one being that company is a foreign company. Company is a foreign company, or the company has got the approval of shareholders in general meeting to make such payment. Either it is a foreign company or approval of shareholders by SR in general meeting. However, the total managerial remuneration payable to its managerial person, including such amount, is within the permissible limits of section 197. It cannot in any way exceed the limit specified under section 197. If it does, the company has to mandatorily take the permission of the central government in that case. Alright,